Does it always seem like you are just chasing the day? Or the day is just dragging you by the heels on a rope on a buggy in the middle of the desert? Ah, let me get up! And welcome to Heroes Forge podcast, where we help millennial geeks, gamers, and cosplayers look badass, feel sexy, and live their heroic lives. I am your coach, Troy Bushido, and today we're diving into the intricate details of crafting a daily routine for maximum productivity and well-being. So picture this. Your day is already chaotic, disoriented, and unpredictable. You stumble into the world day by day, completely unprepared to whatever comes. Your energy levels match a low-level minion chasing the next task, the next demand, the next stress of the day. Before you know it, the day's done. It slipped away and leaves you in the clutches of missed opportunities. So in short, without a solid morning routine and an evening routine that helps that morning routine, our heroic potential just remains dormant, and it's overshadowed by the chaos of that grind. So let's just dive in. We all know mornings can set the tone for the day. So let's set our morning up to be as optimal as we can. Before I dive into this, just keep in mind, you don't have to take every single tip I do. This is just what works for me. Definitely think of this in Iron Man thoughts, meaning think of it modularly. Think, oh yeah, I might add this. That's not going to work for me for this job. Oh, let me add something unique like this. Just like Iron Man always having a different suit for the job, at least in Iron Man 3, which is not really a popular Iron Man movie, he always has something he can do. And if you're more of a DC guy, think of the Batman utility belt. But anyway, our first heroic habit is going to be morning hydration. A lot of us are coffee drinkers or tea drinkers. We just need some sort of morning caffeine after that alarm goes off. So while your caffeine brewski brews, make sure you take down a glass of water to kickstart your body. You see, for most coffee bakers and tea makers, you need time to boil the water, or the coffee machine or the Keurig needs time to brew. So you have at least 1 minute on your hands. Take that time to take 10 to 16 ounces of water right out of the gate. And if it has to be cold water or room temperature, it doesn't matter. Just 10 to 16 ounces. Sometimes I knock out that 10 to 16 ounces even after I get out of bed before I even make it to the coffee machine, because my water is just right at my night table. Even if it's room temperature, it still works. Now, our next heroic ritual involves some sort of movement. Optimally for 30 minutes, but always remember sustainable is optimal. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be any sort of minutes. But you gotta get your body, your blood flow moving. So, especially as we age, just dragging in the morning means you're dragging throughout the day. So if it means you have to get up maybe a half hour earlier to sneak in a half hour workout, go for it. If you have to set yourself up to a gym or a workout facility that leads workouts at a specific time before work, do it. Fitness is just the foundation of any hero's journey. Now, personally, I sort of cheat the system. I am actually a fitness instructor. One part of my day job, at least, is to lead fitness classes for people 40 plus over Zoom. They're not even getting out their house. They are just popping a Zoom on, and me and another coach are there. And a lot of times I have to do the workout with them to get them through the workout. So it's like, oh geez, my cardio / light part of my fitness routine is already covered at home. Yes, it's cheating. Yes, it's privilege. Yes, not everyone has it. I get it. But whatever you can do to get the routine down, even if it means cheating the system, do it. For you wrestling fans, just remember, some champions were made by cheating. Viva la raza. Now, after the workout's done, it's time for breakfast to fuel your day. Now, as you notice, I didn't have breakfast before the workout. I just didn't want my stomach to feel full.
What about second breakfast?
Now, this type of breakfast could be fairly balanced. I'm not a dietitian, so I'm not going to give you specific things to eat, but any combination of protein, carb, and healthy fat will do the job. Now, as you're eating your breakfast, take a moment to kind of review your day. Personally, I have my day set up using two tools: Google Calendar, especially the task list, and my bullet journal. Now, I usually coordinate with my bullet journal and make sure things that are in my bullet journal are in my Google Calendar. I also use my bullet journal to review how the previous day went so I know what adjustments to make or what things to think about. And usually I have all my bullets of tasks ready to go in Google Calendar so I don't have to spend too much time thinking about what to do. I just crank it out. Now, more about bullet journaling later, but the thing is, I have most of my day in the task list already mapped out, and then from there I check the schedule itself. I see where I can fit in other activities such as errands, appointments, and a lot of times second workouts, because I can't do a lot of heavy lifting from my home. I have to go to an actual gym to lift heavy. So after all that, I will know a good idea of what I have to do during the day. I just take the task list and I start cranking. Now, I'm skipping what could be a vital step, and I'm skipping it on purpose. While many productivity experts out there advocate the need to prioritize and execute, my ADHD brain would just freeze up. Prioritization, for me, is what's the most urgent, what's the most not urgent. And it's not ranked. An ADHD brain typically has their prioritization system set on binary. If you think about it, it's like an equalizer, those dials that go up and down. But for an ADHD brain, all of them are up. It's up or down, it's on or off. It's doing it or it's don't. So to me, prioritization is a neurodivergence form of procrastination. It's just another roadblock preventing me from getting started. And a lot of times, especially being a neurodivergent, the hardest thing to do in any task, in anything, in any endeavor is getting started. I have seen some ADHD experts advocate just give yourself 2 minutes to be in the space you're working in. Not even starting, but to kind of just get into that zone. But you're never going to get in that zone if you're pulled back from that space, pulled back from those thoughts, and thinking, oh, what do I have to do? Why is this list so big? Shut down. Now, as long as I have a general idea of what tasks are high priority, what tasks are secondary, I don't think much about it. I don't try to numerically prioritize each and every task. I just get it. I just get after it. Now, for me, typically my highest tasks rank in this order. My day job tasks, because I work remote. I am an online personal trainer and online fitness coach. My day job is out of San Francisco while I live in Chicago, and I take care of all those things first, especially taking advantage of the fact that I live 2 time zones away. And so that's my first priority. My second priority is obviously Heroes Forge, both in the content creation side, the engagement side, and the actual coaching of clients. And then on that note, my third priorities are chores and errands. And I put that third priority because since I have a partner to help me out with those, a lot of times I could just take care of the work stuff while my partner I coordinate how to take care of the house stuff. So as you can see, it's just a matter of execution, and more on that in a moment. But one more thing. Since I have ADHD, I have to establish a few ground rules to prevent my day from snowballing into a ditch. So while I have a bunch of subconscious rules to kind of guide myself and act as like guardrails to prevent myself from falling into the gutter productivity-wise, one rule I do remember for myself, and one I've been practicing heavily, and it's been very successful, is this: no gaming until after 7 p.m. Because $1 for every time I've fallen victim to the time warp of a quick gaming break. Oh, it's just gonna be 25 minutes.
5 hours later.
Fuck! I got still that shit to do. And I started to really reflect how flustered I get in those situations. But $1 for every single time I ever put myself in that situation, I would buy whole companies with that shit. If I had $1 for every single time my ADHD veered me off course, I would buy Twitter back from Elon Musk. Damn, I wish I could. But anyway, so I let myself game for about 2 hours-ish. So from 7 to about 9. After about a couple hours of gaming, or even just me time. Typically, my partner Alex wants to spend time with me and a little bit of us time before bed. So this could be movies, a TV series we're watching together, other things. I'm not always perfect, but I do my best to always set time aside for my partner to really anchor in the quality feelings of that partnership. Always remember to set time for the people you care about. And even if it seems cheesy, prioritize it and schedule it like anything else. To me, I always have to think after 9, it's going to be around that Alex time. I better go and see what she's doing and see what she wants to do and da-da-da. And then sometimes friends time, we're all adults, there is no just spur of the moment hanging out. But usually in a typical weekday, it's just me and Alex, and we have our couples time before bed. And speaking of bed, the biggest nemesis to prevent yourself from setting yourself up for a good day the next day is screens. Specifically blue light, which would disrupt your sleep patterns, disrupt your ability to fall asleep, disrupt your ability to get into REM, which is a restful sleep, disrupt your ability to get into deep sleep. Screen time. Screen time, screen time, screen time. Oh, it has messed up certain nights of sleep for me in the past. And it still does sometimes. I see myself, sometimes just doom scrolling TikTok. And next thing I know, oh my fucking Lord, it's 2 a.m. I gotta get up at 7. Next morning, my Fitbit's like, what the fuck happened, dude? My Fitbit looked at me like, you only have like 5 hours and 12 minutes of sleep and you're 38. What the fuck is wrong with you, kid? And so as you can see, we're just circling back to the night before. So a lot of times the night before will be a huge factor in setting up your day afterwards. So if I could recommend anything, improve your quality of sleep however you can. 2 big ways I do it is having a sleep mask and turn off my phone. And if I need the noise, I have audio on. Sometimes it's an audiobook, which doesn't allow me to have a blank screen. Or if it's YouTube, I make it sure it goes face down so none of the blue light shows up. And that's how I fall asleep. So that is my morning and evening routine to get my best success despite all my neurodivergencies, despite my flaws, and despite my crazy living and working situation. There's a few finer points, and I'll just dive into those right now. Bullet journaling. Bullet journaling has been a game changer, both for scheduling and coordinating my day, as well as being able to put down my thoughts on paper so I could better reflect on them next time. And this is huge for someone who's neurodivergent. I can't be the one to sit down and be like, look at a blank sheet like this and be like an episode of Doug back in the day. Dear Journal, oh, my day has went crazy like this. Oh, Alex worked a double shift at the Aragon Ballroom, and I find myself trying to make a podcast. Man, this gets overwhelming sometimes. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Doug. It don't happen that way. A huge recommendation for a book is this one, The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll. It teaches ways to streamline a journaling process using just a blank journal. You could use lines. Sometimes you could also use the dot journals. That way you're able to kind of like make it a little more fancy. Some people actually just use fucking sketchbooks, and that's okay too. You don't need lines in a journal, but it could help. The thing is, I don't have to write complete sentences to express my thoughts. A lot of times when I put down a bulleted note, just bullets, those are very useful because like if I have to reflect on my thoughts later on, big example, going to therapy. Therapy's tough, and it's tough to get bookings. It's tough to get appointments. I can only see my therapist like once every 3 weeks because he's just that busy. But how am I supposed to remember all my issues over the course of 3 weeks? And there's something relaxing about going to therapy, so all of a sudden I'm out of mental state to be like, oh God, I'm feeling pretty good just being here. What were my problems again? I bring that motherfucker. I look over my bullets. I'm like, that's what happened. This is what I was feeling. And even a bullet floods my brain back in with the thoughts, the feelings, and the memories. And even if they are not even accurate memories, they're at least enough for me to work with my therapist on. And we can kind of dissect it. So, huge book recommendation. Huge book recommendation. The Bullet Journal Method, Journaling for Neurodivergence, Journaling for Shorthand, Journaling for Lazy People, and Journaling for Non-Writers. Right here. Now, speaking of streamlining, speaking of simplifying, speaking of bullets, one of my biggest things that has been working with me for the past few weeks actually, is just how fast I hit my task list. I call it set it, don't forget it. Okay, so this is what my Google Calendar typically looks like. Don't mind all the blue blocks. Those are my day jobs, and if it says busy, it's because this is the Forge calendar, and my day job calendar is integrated with it, so I can kind of like coordinate it. So don't mind all that busy stuff. Look at the top and all that orange. Those are my tasks. I am completely trigger happy when it comes to tasks, because the biggest thing that I can do as a neurodivergent is set it and forget it so I don't forget it. Let me reiterate, let me rephrase. Set it so I don't forget it. No matter how big or how small the task is, I will punch it into tasks. I will go right in and say, here, enter task, get this shiz done, bruh. And it goes in. Now, as you can see, my bullet journal is going to do big picture tasks that I will then enter into Google Calendar. But then a lot of day-by-day tasks when it comes to errands, when it comes to the Forge, when it comes to my day job, or if like a boss asks me, hey, can you do something? And as long as it's not on the minute urgent, most of the time it's not. I hate when it does. I'll get into that. I will just put it down as a task. Set it, don't forget it. Some productivity guys are like, man, that's just putting it off, man. If you could do it in 5 minutes, do it. Oh, I'll get to my beef with that in a moment. But the point is, to make sure I don't forget anything, my brain just loves this binariness of, here's the list, let's go. So back in my morning routine, I review it with my bullet journal. I make sure it's lined up to the Google Calendar tasks. And then I don't really care what is highest priority. As long as something isn't massively urgent, I just go right into it. I'm like, oh, this is one thing I could do. And then once it's done, I get the ADHD dopamine of, hold on, I'm gonna use this for example. Click, bring, gone. Yeah, baby. That's what my brain's thinking. It's not, I don't do that every single time, but that's what my brain thinks. And it gets hit with this dopamine, which is why I always say set it, don't forget it. No matter how big a task it is, no matter how small a task it is, even if you have to break that big task into a bunch of small tasks, each little step, each little objective, boom, 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 boom. So right now, research and script for podcast episodes, mark completed, done. Boom. Another one bites the dust. Hashtag and shoot content. I already did my short form before going on the podcast. Done. But you can see the list go smaller and smaller on a given day. You see these things crossed out. The dopamine is real for my brain when that happens. So that's my philosophy right now. Set it, don't forget it. Most things are not super urgent. And if it's super urgent, oh God. Might as well start talking about it. Peter Griffin here. Do you know what really grinds my gears? When something just disrupts your day, and then you go right into it, and you gotta stop everything you're doing, and get on that. Especially for a neurodivergent, the worst thing you do on an ADHD person is tell them to stop everything they're doing. Especially if they have a flow state. Especially if they're on a hyper-focused flow state. Man, I have found out very few things in life force me to stop everything and detour out. But when it happens, speaking of tasks, I'll drop the mic with this. Combining task is another superpower. As you can see, with healthy habits and any sort of productive habit or positive habit, the best thing you could do to anchor that habit in is connect it with something you're already doing. I had a habit of always drinking coffee in the morning. I needed the coffee. Even when I cut myself off from caffeine, I get a placebo effect from decaf. I can't not have my coffee now. But what do I need to do? I need to be hydrated. So I link something that I need to do with something that I already am doing. Link water to coffee. Another thing I've been doing was practice breathwork meditation for 2 minutes while my shower warms up. So, I'm going to take a shower. It's inevitability. So what I do is I put down my toilet seat, put down the lid, light a candle right in front of the toilet, turn on the shower to the temperature, and as the water warms up, I sit on the toilet, let the bathroom steam a little bit, and I start doing my deep breathing for 2 minutes. And I feel a lot better. And I sure as shit would have never done any of that meditation throughout any part of my day because it's like disrupting my day. But if I link it to something I already need to do or something I'm already doing, like hygiene, boom, there you go. So, as we wrap up this episode, remember, forging your daily routine is a quest worth embarking on. Whether you're battling morning blues or defeating the screens of temptation, you have the power to sculpt a heroic life. That's all for today on Heroes Forge Podcast. If you got any value from this episode, be sure to like it, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share your own morning and evening routines in the comments below.
And if you love challenges, I designed an awesome challenge called 75 Hero. This is my upgraded version of the infamous 75 Hard. So if you want to take on your new year with a gusto, go ahead and check out this video and check out this challenge. I'll see you over there.